Hi, you guys. I'm Denise with Artist at Heart, and I want to do a fun, quick Valentine's lesson with you guys today. So I'm going to do blow flowers, and I'm going to do them in the shape of hearts. Okay. I'm going to use acrylic paint on canvas, and you guys can use your favorite supplies. I always tell people that they should customize it and make it their own. I'm just going to make sure you guys are all here and can see and hear me okay. Are you guys good? All right. So I have my phone here. All right. I today am going to use 16 by 20 canvas, and I have the format vertical or portrait style. And I am going to use, I just have to highlight it in my cart. So if you're not on Amazon with me, come on over to Amazon. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I am going to use apple barrel paint today to show you how easy and fun it is to use. I'm a little bit messy, so some of my bottles already have paint on them. These are really nice. They come in such a great variety of colors. And again, when you guys customize your artwork and make it your own, you're going to use any supplies that you want. I'm going to use a plate. You can use a palette or anything else that you have. Today, I'm going to use flag red. I always give my paint a little shake, and you only need a little bit, a little dollop. So I'll put it on my plate to show you guys. You'll even need less if you do it smaller. So this canvas over here, this one's 11 by 14. Okay, so again, it depends on what size canvas you want to use. So there's my little dollop of flag red, and I'm going to use some white. You guys always are going to use more white than any other color. So if you're a painter, again, you're mixing tints, you're using white in a variety of ways, and you're going to probably use the least amount of black. But for today's lesson, I'm going to use, again, a flat paintbrush. So a flat paintbrush is a paintbrush that looks like a square, and I'm using apple barrel. Okay, I'm going to mix the two together. You guys know what happens when you mix red and white? You get pink. Or you can always use the pink that comes in the kit as well. So look, I'm just mixing them right on my brush, and then I'll mix them on the canvas. Now, if you feel more comfortable pre-mixing it on your plate, that's fine too. I'm going to use vertical paintbrush strokes, and I want to get my entire background covered. So I'm going to keep adding red and white with vertical brush strokes. I also like to cover my edge and top. So the more white you add, the lighter it's going to be. When you add white to a color, it's called a tint. When you add black to a color, it's called a shade. I don't want my background to get too light. Why do I not want it to get too light? Because I want it to have contrast when I put my blow flowers on there, right? My blow flowers are going to be white and green. So you're just going to keep adding in vertical brush strokes your color. So again, if you want to use a different color, you can use a different color. If you want it to be blue, make it blue. As long as you have the contrast with the flowers, right? Because the stems will be green and your blow flower is going to be white. If your favorite color is purple, or maybe you're making a Valentine's for someone, make it in their favorite color. So I'm just going to keep adding these vertical brush strokes. No pre-drawing, and I'm going to scoop up some more white. And again, remember, I don't want it to get too light because I want the contrast of the flower. So I feel like that's a little bit too light, but I love the streaks. I love to see brush strokes. I didn't add any, sorry, oops. I didn't add any water, you guys. This is all pure acrylic paint, okay? I told you I was messy. I told you I was messy from the beginning. And that's a live video. That's what you get. All right, because we're just here to have fun, right? And I just wanted to share with you this product. Now, why I like apple barrel products is because they're like a medium consistency. So they're opaque enough where they're covering and they dry quick. So for this particular project, I do want it to dry quick because I want to layer it. That's why I'm covering my entire background. Now, you don't want it to be too thick, again, so it dries pretty quick. If you have time and you're doing this at home, like I do classes, so I want them to go pretty quick. So I'm doing this in person at a party, and they have to be able to have the background dry so we can layer into the foreground. So again, I would just tell them to keep spreading their paint out so it's not too thick so it dries quicker. And of course, acrylic paint is non-toxic. The colors are beautiful. The consistency is wonderful. No odor, which is really important to me as an artist. Again, it's non-toxic. I teach all ages and abilities, so it's really important to use non-toxic paints. And it's washable while it's wet. The longer it sets, the more it's gonna, set on whatever it is it's on. All right, I'm gonna try to get this glare out so you guys can see. And again, you want it to be more of a medium tone. You don't want it to be too light. I could even add a little bit of gray in here. Let's see. So I like to see the brush strokes. Everyone has, a different style. And you want to make sure that you get enough paint on there to cover the canvas. So I'm using a pre-primed gesso canvas. All right, so I'm a little bit more than halfway done. Again, I keep adding more and more acrylic. I was thinking about putting a little bit of gray or maybe black into the background, but I really want it to be bright and happy because it's for Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day is my birthday. Shh, don't tell anybody, it's our secret. So I love to do Valentine's projects, you guys. And again, everyone's is going to look different. You guys can do this project with any supplies. I'm using Apple Barrel acrylic paint today. So far, I'm using the white and the red. I like to get the set with all the different colors. And again, you guys remember, you're always going to go through more white than any other color because you're usually creating a tint, which is a lighter version. So I'm using the red and then I'm adding the white to get a streaky tint into the background. But again, I don't want it to get too light because I want to have contrast with my white blow flower. Now, if you guys want to do a different color flower, that's fine. But I like the pretty blow flower and I'm going to make it into a heart shape. I'm almost, well, this is a 16 by 20 canvas, and you guys do not have to paint this quick, right? You take your time. I think it's really, really, really relaxing to paint. I'm only going quick so you don't get bored. And again, I think the streaks, add interest to the painting. You could always paint it flat, just like one solid color. But again, I think that, can you guys see that? I just got a new light in here and it's giving me a glare. I'll tilt it a little bit. Let me scoop up a little bit more. Ooh, look at that. All right, so this is what I love about it. And welcome to the live chat. I told you guys I'm really messy. All right, that's what I get, right, for being in a rush. That's why I try not to rush too much. All right, so this is perfect, you guys. Now I can show you what you do with your mistakes. Watch, this is why I love acrylic, okay? It blends right in there. Don't worry, this is not my first mishap. Isn't that why we watch live video? All right, so anyway, I'm going to get a better job setting up my easel. So watch this because it's so far away. I'm just going to flip it around. And again, I like to paint the edges of my canvas because I think it looks better. All right. And this is how I get my paint bottles covered in paint because I drop things. All right, so let's finish this up. You're not here to watch me make a mess, are you? All right. And this is why I have a paint shirt on. Again, we don't want it to get too light because we want the contrast in the background. And I feel like I'm getting a little bit too white, but I think it still looks pretty cool. And I didn't add black because I don't want it to get gray, but you could add black. Silver would be really pretty for Valentine's. Again, I love the brush strokes. I love to see brush strokes. That's what makes it interesting. And I have not watered this down at all. So I've used a dry brush. I'm going to slide this one over since I collapsed my other easel. So I'm using tabletop easels, but you know what? I'm going to start using my stand-up easel so I don't have mishaps. Can you guys see that better? All right. I'll have to do this again without the glare. I just got a brand new light and I'm getting a glare, but you know what? Give me 1 second and I'm gonna shut the light off. That way you guys won't have a glare. What do you think about that? There, less glare, right? Now you can see the brush strokes. That's what I really want. I want you guys to be able to see the brush strokes. Okay, so that's the background. Now, again, I told you guys it dries really, really, really quick. And I am going to let it dry and come back and do my blow flowers in a few minutes. Okay, thanks for watching. I'll be back in a few. Bye, you guys. Give me 5 minutes to reset up so I don't keep flipping over. Mm.